Yep.
No, I'm not. I'm younger.
Yeah, we're all older every day. That's what they say.
Okay.
This will be part of living your well-filled life, Debbie. Starting this morning. All right,
Today's the day.
we've got a minute and 30 seconds. I've got to answer this phone call. I'm going to go ahead and mute everything. I will talk to you guys after the show.
Okay.
All right, thanks, guys.
Hi, folks. Welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. I'm Debbie Georgiani along with Jerry Usher, and this is your show, Take Two, heard daily on EWTN. How exciting is that? Your show, which means if you participate by listening or by calling in, then you take the show to great heights. And after a brief hour we get to spend with one another, we learn something new. We walk away a little bit changed, a little bit closer to God. And that's what Take Two is all about, taking a fresh look at ourselves and the world around us. So today, Jerry, I'm excited because we are calling out to all of our mature audience, the ones that have lived many years in this world and have gained experience and wisdom with each and every life that they have lived. We're asking them to call in and to impart to us the pearls of wisdom and experience that they have learned so we can benefit from it. I'm kind of excited about this show, Jerry. My mother's listening.
Oh, good. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to hearing from folks. If you have lived, maybe you have, you've gone through life, you had a career, a marriage, a family, your kids are grown and gone, you've been retired, been maybe volunteering for a while. Maybe you've reached let's say a mature age, whatever that is. That could be in your 60s, your 70s, just anyone who has got, you've stored up a lot of life experiences. We want to hear lessons from your full life. Things like, were your hopes and dreams fulfilled? Those things that you aspired to when you were young. Did you achieve those things in life? And if so, how? Were there challenges along the way? Were you satisfied in your choice of vocation? How did that fulfill you in your relationship with God? Raising your family, the joys and challenges of raising kids. Have you maintained close contact with, say, childhood friends? These are the things that we want to hear from you about today at 1-800-585-9396.
And I wanted to share because I was talking to my mom about this program last night, and like I said, she is listening. She's 85 years old, and she didn't want to call in, but she wanted to weigh in. So she said, you can go ahead and share this from me. And I said, okay, what? And she said, well, 85 years was like a blink of the eye. It goes really fast. Before you know it, you're here and you're thinking, where did all the time go? And she said that's one thing she would like to impart to everyone. And the other thing, too, which I've always found interesting, my mother has said this my entire life, is that when you look back on all the years that you've lived. You see why things happened. She often would say, what goes around comes around. You don't get away with anything in this world. And she was able to do that as looking back on the 85 years that she has lived so far. And it's very interesting, Jerry. So that was her take on profound experiences in life, and that maybe we should all wake up and realize that there are consequences to our actions, because it does catch up with you. So that's interesting. I don't know how you feel about that, Jerry.
Oh, I think she's very right, and I've been thinking about that a lot, especially in light of you and I are doing the parish Advent mission at St. Mary's Parish in Chandler, Arizona, November 28th through the 30th on Mercy, and I have just I've looked back over my life quite a bit these last few weeks and seeing how God's merciful hand has been there for me, and how just a lot of things I have learned, quite frankly, from the things that I have done, and I thank God for that. And sometimes those lessons come at a price, but we just definitely want to hear from, we'll just call it today, Debbie, how about senior citizens? And nowadays, that's what, 55, I think? You have adult,
Yes,
senior communities that are 55 and up, and restaurant discounts and other stuff. So let's just do that. And again, folks, I mean, age is just a number, and we're not trying to, we want to hear really the great things that you have to impart from
Right.
your life well lived. So if you're 55, 65, 75, 85, please give us a call at 800-585-9396, because, Deb, there are people listening right now. It's going to change a life, and it could turn somebody's mindset around about growing older. Maybe people are fearful of growing older.
Oh, absolutely. And I know folks that have picked up hobbies, learned languages, traveled, gone back to school in their 70s. I think that is a beautiful thing. And that just goes to show exactly what you just said, Jerry, that age is really just a number, and how we approach this thing we call life here on earth. That's really what's more important. And so we want to hear from you. So you seniors out there in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s maybe, call in at 1-800-585-9396. We want to benefit from your life experiences, and we can only do that if you share. So I'm going to say it. I say it almost every single time, Jerry, because you know how I feel about this. The Holy Spirit is moving. The Holy Spirit is working. And if you feel prompted by the Spirit, it just may be what God wants you to do to help others. So if you feel that nudging and you're thinking, I should call in, I don't really know what it feels like to call in on a radio show, we're very nice, very welcoming. You'll love it. Dial in 1-800-585-9396.
Yeah, and please, we want to hear from you. This is so important. We just curious to know, for example, Debbie, remember that your families used to be so much more nuclear, if I can put it that way.
Yeah.
Closer. You had generations of family that lived closer together. So the grandparents, for example, even the great-grandparents, could really help to pass down the family culture and character and virtue and morals, and really assist in the family. So I'd be curious to know from those who are maybe a little bit older, has that maybe kind of gone away because we have such a virtual world that we live in? Or here's the biggest thing of all, Debbie. How has someone's perspective on eternity changed as they've gotten older?
Oh,
all right,
interesting.
so and we've struck a nerve here apparently, because lines just exploded a minute ago. So
Did you see that? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This is this is the reason we do shows, like you always say, Debbie, is because we learn. And this is, I think, a very vital conversation, because I look around at young people today. I'm not sure they respect or appreciate those who have gone before us. Mm-hmm. And I'd love to hear from anybody if they feel that way, or how technological advances or anything that's changed in the world since you were young, just these dramatic changes, and you look back and you go, wow, I never could have dreamed these things would happen.
Yeah, that's why this is a great show. So we want to hear from you. What has been your most profound life experience? That's what we're talking about today. We're asking our senior audience to call in to share with us their wisdom and experience so we can learn. We're students with them right now. They're the teachers. So lines have filled up. When an open line becomes free, please jump in at 1-800-585-9396. This is Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, and we'll be right back.
The wisdom of Mother Angelica.
You know something about that new commandment the Lord gave us? You know what it says? That I should love you as much as the Father loves Jesus. But it doesn't say anything about you loving me. How do you like that? He didn't say you got to go around loving somebody. He said, I have to love you as much as the Father loves me. He didn't say, now you're going to get a return of love. In fact, he said, if you do that, if you love those who love you, the pagans do that. If you invite somebody to dinner and hope they invite you back, he said, the pagans do that. You got to invite people to dinner who won't invite you back. They don't have anything to invite you for. See, God doesn't think the way we do. We're so far away from the way God thinks.
For more information on Mother Angelica, visit Religious Catalog at EWTNRC.com.
We know you like listening to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie on EWTN Radio, but have you thought about bringing them to your next event? No matter what type of event you're hosting, parish mission, conference, or retreat, trust Jerry and Debbie to make it come alive. Begin the process today of taking your presentation to the next level of success. For information on booking Jerry and Debbie, visit take2show.com, click on the J&D logo.
Listen to EWTN Radio at any time, day or night. Audio on demand brings your favorite programs, recently broadcasted shows, prayers, and devotionals instantly to you for free. For more, visit EWTNapps.com.
Father Larry Richards.
You know, I'm from the city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and both of my parents, both of them, were police officers. My father was a police officer, and my mother was a police officer. They always thought I'd be a cop, too, and in some ways I am, a spiritual cop. But we keep doing what we do, and we come from wherever we come from, it doesn't matter. Where God is calling us is what's most important.
Open Line with Father Larry Richards, Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio.
Hello, this is Bishop Robert Baker from the Diocese of Birmingham in Alabama.
I'm Peggy Normandin, but you can call me Catholic.
Hello, friends. This is Father Wade Menezes of the Fathers of Mercy. Thanks for listening to the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.
All right, we want to hear from the senior set today, and I am officially a member of that. I turned 55 this past year, and so I need to remember that, Debbie. I need to start pulling that out, at restaurants and stuff, and say, "Hey, what's your senior discount?"
You don't act 55.
Well, I wouldn't mind saving a buck or two here and there, but anyway, it's really the wisdom, the life insights that we want to hear from you fantastic people who have taught us so much over our lives, and you've experienced so much, the highs, the lows, the joys, the challenges, and we always have people listening to this show who are maybe, everybody goes through the same stages of life, so you can really make a difference with your takes at 1-800-585-9396. All right, Debbie and I are going to start with Eileen in Hopefield, Massachusetts, listening to EWTN Radio on the station of the Cross. Eileen, hello there. Welcome to Take Two.
Hello, how are you?
Doing fine, Eileen. How are you?
Great. I've lived a very Catholic, devout life my whole life, and I could go on for hours, but the one thing I wanted to tell you, I'm 64 years old, and I just got accepted to Franciscan University to study a Master's of Theology and Christian Ministry, and I'm, blown away.
Way to go, Eileen. Congratulations.
I'm so excited. I can't even stand it. I can't even tell you how excited I am.
So does that mean that you have to go on the campus there? Because that's the school that you went to, right, Jerry?
That is correct.
So do you go, is this online, Eileen?
It is online, but I'd like to see if I can do one semester out there.
Wow.
Because I would love to go out there, but I don't know. But I am going to do it online. But I told them if I graduate, a whole bus is coming from Massachusetts out to Ohio.
Well, a couple things with that, Eileen. You better make sure you stay in touch with us, because we'll be praying for you that it goes well, and then we can share when we can celebrate together when you graduate. That would be exciting.
Thank you. We had a seminarian this summer at our church, and he said to me, all your experience from your whole life you're going to be able to use for this degree. And he goes, the other kids in the class are kids, and he goes, listen to your experience and use that. So it kind of goes along with what you're doing today.
Exactly. Well, Eileen, Debbie alluded to the fact that I did get my undergraduate degree from Franciscan, and I lived on campus. I was there for 3 years, and I was, 28 at the time, and my first roommate was in his early 50s, so there was definitely that age gap there, and it was quite interesting. We hit it off well, very, very friendly guy, and I learned a lot from him, and hopefully I was able to be a blessing in his life. So,
well, thank you. I just wanted to say that. So thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too, Eileen.
Thank you so much, and congratulations. That really made our day. Way to go.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Okay. 64 years old and getting a master's degree in theology. See? Life is amazing. It truly is. And Denise, you are up next, listening in Ohio on Annunciation Radio. Hi, Denise. Welcome to Take Two.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you.
Basically, I kind of wanted to share. I'm only 54, so I'm really very young, so I probably shouldn't even be calling in today.
That's true.
Anyway,
That's true. You're very young, but go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, we have a large family. We only have 7 living children, but as over those years when I was having the babies pretty close together, there were things that people would say to me that were completely inappropriate and, kind of judging me for having a large family and offering me their not welcomed advice at times. And I look back on that and I think, oh my gosh, I'm thankful for the little bit of persecution, because now that my kiddos are grown, they're so devoted and loyal to their family and to their siblings, and they defend one another. And their friends are so in awe and jealous in a good way of the close bonds that they have with each other. So all of that was very much worth it. Now, some of my kiddos aren't even practicing their Catholic faith right now, and in some ways are kind of far from that. But if there's anyone out there listening that get discouraged and their heart's aching and breaking because their adult children or their kiddos have turned away, I mean, really, be at peace, because it's not our job to convert. That's God's job. We give the good example, we lay the good foundation, and then the rest really is up to our Lord, right?
Yeah. That is beautiful words of wisdom, Denise, and I'm glad you shared it, because we have a lot of families, a lot of callers that weigh in on this show that come from big families, and we can all kind of relate to that. I'm one of 6, and Jerry's one of 5, I believe, and you're right. And when you go out into the world with a big family, either having one or coming from one, you do get those funny looks and those funny comments, but yet down deep you can realize that people are a little bit envious of the fact that you've got a very full and vibrant household, and there's always something going on and something exciting. I mean, we know they make Hollywood movies about big families, so.
Right, yeah.
But I'm glad you said that, because I think that's important for those starting out in marriage to realize that it can be something to look forward to be open to life, and then to benefit from having this beautiful grown family when you get older. And like you said about our children that have maybe strayed away a little bit from the faith, God's will be done, and we've got to entrust them to God and to the Blessed Mother. They're theirs first, and we're just caretakers of our children. But God sees all and can work through people and through things and miracles, and we just have to have faith and trust in that our children will come back in. I think that's what you're saying, so I'm agreeing with you. Did I get that right?
Absolutely, yeah. With the good and the bad and the ugly, you just love them. And this year of mercy has taught me so much. It's taught me to be more merciful in so many different ways, because my adult children bring a lot of different situations into my life that I would have never called when they were little people all lined up in the pew with us, But really, it's been such a school. I've been to school in mercy because of my kiddos, and I'm grateful, And Christ came to bring us peace, and it's only through the Holy Spirit that a mom can feel peace about such situations. That's got to come from above, because it doesn't come from me,
That's right.
Yeah.
And Denise, as you're talking, the one thing that really jumps out in my mind is you may have heard Debbie and me mention that we're giving an Advent Parish mission at St. Mary's Parish in Chandler, Arizona in a couple weeks. And I'm doing a lot of reading and studying on the parable of the prodigal son to include in my presentation. And one thing that really struck me is, first of all, it was unheard of for a son to ask for his share of the inheritance at that time and then leave the household, leave the family. Some commentators have said it's even like killing the father in a sense. It's that insulting and that demeaning to the father. But what does the father do? The father gives him his stuff and may have some sense that he's going to go out and squander it, but he gives him his will. He gives him what he wants. He gives him his free will, and the son does go out, but later comes to his senses because he realizes this is just filth that I'm living in, and this is just not the banquet table that I had at my father's house. And so, and then he returns home, and what happens? It's great rejoicing. So I think that can be a good lesson for all of us. And Denise, it sounds like you have that perspective. You have that great hope for your kids.
Believe me. But praise God, He's doing the good work in me. So.
Amen. Well, we thank you so much for calling. Yeah.
All right, God bless you guys.
Thanks, Denise. Tell Deacon Mike and Chris we said hello at Annunciation Radio. You've got a great radio network. Everybody there is doing a fine job. I was able to do the share-a-thon there recently, and I had just a wonderful experience. Hopefully I'll come back in the spring. So maybe, Denise, we can meet then. That would be awesome. Okay, next up is Jane in Michigan, listening to EWTN Radio on Ave Maria Radio. Hi, Jane. Welcome to Take Two.
Hi. Yes, I'm calling because I am almost 67 years old, and my views on life has just did a total flip since I was young. In my younger years, teenage years, you're just looking at your future ahead of you, and everything is bright, and it just seemed to me, if I look back upon it, God was in my life. My parents raised us good Catholics, but it was different. It was like he was on this shelf the rest of the time. We'd go to church, do the holy days, and he wasn't priority. And so as I went through my life and got married and had children, run into some difficulties, I turned back to God. I turned back to him in more serious ways. I wasn't going through the steps, of, okay, you have to do this, you have to do that. I turned to him in that way, and he showed me his blessings, and he made it like I says, I'm like Thomas, please show me, and believe me, God did show me in a very real way that he existed, he was there. This is something, that I had to accept where I was at and what I was going through, and I moved on from there and built on that, on my religion. And I find now that the things I thought I wanted when I was young doesn't really have any value. The things that you'd want, you want the big house, you want the new car, you want this, you want that. I put those materialistic things aside and went with what God blessed me with. And we have 4 children. They're growing up, and they're all married. We got 9 grandchildren. We got 2 great-grandchildren. And those are the things of value, not the $1 million home, not the Mercedes sitting in the yard. None of that really. God must have blessed me with this peace because I can look at it with others and not have no jealousy about it. But the valuable things in life, all is with your family, your children. Hug them, tell them you love them. I came from a home that even though my parents followed the religion, my mother and my dad never hugged, never told us they loved me, went out of this world without ever hearing that. And I chose to do different, and in that respect, that's where it's at. For anybody out there, love those people in your life. Love those children. Make them the most important. Me and my husband didn't have bowling nights and this night and that night like our friends had. We had family nights. When we wanted to have a special dinner that I felt the need to have candlelight, We went and bought porterhouse steaks, sit down at our beautiful dining room table, lit candles. All of the children were around the table. We dimmed the light, and our kids talk about it today.
Wow.
They got the juice, we got a little wine, and just make those beautiful memories with them.
And Jane,
that's what I want to say.
Hear those memories,
because
yeah.
all else falls to the wayside. Do that with your family. Keep God alive, not something you go to visit on Sunday in a church. And tell them you love them, no matter what they do. I told my children, no matter what you do, what you get into, there is nothing that we cannot help you with. We are here to support you. We are your net in life. So,
Jane, you have taught countless people today, including me and Debbie. I can definitely vouch for that. And just the family time especially, and the perspective, Debbie, the perspective on what is really, really important. And I know a lot of our listeners share that, and that is interpersonal relationships, especially with family, and to hear about Jane and her kids and her grandkids and the great-grandkids. I mean, this is when you reach a stage in life and you can look at that, then you can say, my life has been, if you can put it in air quotes, successful. That is what makes up a faithful life to God, is leaving a legacy like that. So
beautiful. It was well said, Jane. We enjoyed your whole life experience, and you have helped us immensely. Well, dear listeners, thank you for hanging on with us. This is the one break we need to take, so stay with us. More of Take Two in just a moment.
From EWTN News Nightly in Washington, D.C., I'm Lauren Ashburn with an EWTN News link. Senators elect their new leaders today. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is reelected. Senator Chuck Schumer replaces retiring Senator Harry Reid as Senate Minority Leader. President Obama heads to Germany during his final foreign trip of his presidency. He's meeting with Chancellor Angela Merkel. Before leaving Greece, the president called for a course correction on globalization. The Iraqi-led coalition continues to strike ISIS targets near Mosul. The terror group has hit 4,000 bombs over the past month. Iraqi troops are trying to recapture the second largest city. And Pope Francis calls on the world to protect children ahead of Universal Children's Day on Sunday. He's urging Christians at today's general audience to pray for the victims of recent earthquakes. I'm Lauren Ashburn with your EWTN Newslink.
A recent study was done of teens to see if they could handle being without their screens. The people conducting the study agreed to pull the plug if it got dangerous. The results? Quote, only 3 reached the end of the experiment. 3 had suicidal thoughts, 5 experienced intense panic attacks, 27 had symptoms like nausea, sweating, dizziness, hot flashes, and abdominal pain. Almost everyone had feelings of fear and anxiety. We've all heard the myth that some people are great multitaskers. Not true. Studies have shown that the more things you do at one time, the more you stink at doing all of them. Our brains only have so much bandwidth. If your attention is drawn to a screen, that means it's being drawn away from life all around you. Here's my screen detox challenge. Unplug at every meal, and every Sunday, you'll survive. If you don't get disciplined about unplugging a little, those screens can go from a blessing to an addiction faster than you can say Apple. This is Chris Stefanik from RealLifeCatholic.com on EWTN Radio.
EWTN. Live truth. Live Catholic.
It's Take Two with Jerry and Debbie on EWTN Radio. Good to have you along with us. Just a sneak peek at tomorrow's program. This is going to be, I think, fun, a little bit self-revealing. The topic that we have chosen for tomorrow is, have you ever committed an inadvertent blunder? You're going along in life, you do something, you have no idea it's wrong, and not that you get in trouble, but it just kind of looks funny to certain people, or you look back after the fact, or somebody says, well, what are you doing? And you go, well, I'm just, and then finally you go, oh, I shouldn't have been doing that. I have got an amazing example for that tomorrow, Debbie, that is really going to be kind of cute and kind of funny.
I can't wait to hear your example. I'm actually going to share an example that happened to my mom with a bunch of nuns in a grocery store.
Okay, oh, that ought to be good.
Oh, it's pretty funny.
Tomorrow on Take Two, have you ever committed an accidental or inadvertent blunder? You did something wrong, sort of, and didn't realize it. You didn't even, maybe you didn't see a sign that said, "Don't come in here," or something like that.
Right.
So, all right, we're going back to your calls today, though. Lessons from a full life. We want to hear how life has treated you, how you've treated life, and where you are right now with everything, your relationship with God and your family. So Berta is next, listening to EWTN Radio in Texas. Hello, Berta. Thank you for calling.
Hello.
Hello, Berta.
Thank you for taking my call. I really appreciate it. I have been listening to your show forever and ever.
Oh, thank you. You're very
Today,
kind.
it touched me because this is who I am. I'm 73 and a very happy old person. I know that the lady that just spoke, that's just beautiful. That's just how we're supposed to be. It is how we're supposed to contribute to society, and especially starting at home with our kids. And I just know what I appreciate more of now in my age is what I lived through raising my 3 children and my own, seeing what they turn out to be, great people with families, and they take such good care of them, so I know that they are doing well. Whatever was when I was young is not the same as it is now. I don't think the same way, because I'm not in a rush anymore. I used to be in a rush to get everything done. Today, I enjoy life. I still do a lot. Do sewing. I do a lot of fun stuff and help out. I just want to be available for whoever needs me. And it happens. It happens every day.
Right. Berta, you sound very secure in your 73 years, and I think that brings us all peace. Because let me ask you this quick question. How do you feel when you see all of our younger population running around, text messaging, walking, running to their next appointment as they're texting or on their phones, and everything looks like it's going in fast motion? What do you think about that?
Yes, and on the roads as well, driving. I believe that, first of all, it's 21st century. Things have changed. Technology is here. We have to accept that, and we have to go with it up to a certain point. And, at one point in their life, that's going to change because the status of each person is going to change. They're no longer going to be raising kids, and they're going to see life differently, I hope, anyway.
Right. And they can stop and smell the roses again.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's a great wake up for all of us to really think about that. And you living 73 years young, you sound extremely young, which is great. Keep that voice of yours. And yeah, it sounds great. And it does remind us that we need to really just, take it easy, relax and kind of go with the flow and let things, play out, because maybe that obviously we know it's going to be healthier for us physically. So we should probably learn that now before we get into our 70s and 80s. So Berta, I think that helps us tremendously. Thank you. Thank you and also for affirming Jane and her wonderful life experience that she shared right before you. It's nice when we can affirm one another.
Thank you, Berta, for the phone call to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. I really love to hear about people who have raised their families, maybe ended their careers, Debbie, and are very much at peace, because I really am one of those who, I don't want to say I'm anxious, but I've sort of got this bug to be darting here and, well, I'm done with that now, I need to get over here and do that. Oh, that needs my attention over there. And I sometimes wonder, boy, if retirement were to ever come around for me, could I sit in my recliner and do a crossword puzzle, or just, I don't know, just slow down and do some of the things. I've known retired people who just were so at peace about just kicking around their house and, I don't know, going out and picking up
playing a game of golf
on the back patio. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great gift, to be, in possession of oneself enough and be at peace in one's heart that you can do that.
Absolutely. And Jerry, that's what I meant when I said you don't act like 55 years old, because you do. You multitask very well, and you're always moving on to something else. And so you're in a little bit of a fast pace, which is great, I think. But just as Berta was sharing, being when she's at 73, and how wonderful it is just to enjoy, just to really be in the moment. I think that's wonderful. Okay, Heidi, you are up. We have all women today. What happened? Yesterday we had all men. Today we have all women. Okay, so we need at least one male to call in.
Come on, guys. Has to be one guy out there who wants to share a lesson from your full life.
Right. We need. So here's the number: 1-800-585-9396. Berta left a line open for you, gentlemen. So please call in 1-800-585-9396. Okay, Heidi, you've been waiting so patiently in Boise, Idaho, listening on Salt and Light Radio. Hi, Heidi. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call. I just wanted to share to say, every time people ask me, how are you today? I say, another day, another blessing.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Because God gave us everything so beautiful. When you look around the four seasons, the food, when we look at other people, we have a lot of problems around the world, but we are very, very blessed. And even if people from the past, if they hurt you, the closest people or friends or whoever, the best thing, do not hold any grudges. Pray for them, forgive them, and love them, because this is what Jesus did. He said, the best of all is love. And he forgave me, he forgave everybody. Who are we to judge? And when you have peace in your heart, you will be so happy and enjoy every second, every moment is precious. Make everybody happy. And my father used to say, one good word can build, one bad word can destroy. And I go by that message. And thank you for listening to me. And I love you all. And I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless you. And continue doing the good work.
Oh, Heidi, God bless you too. And thanks for tuning in to Salt and Light Radio there in Boise, Idaho. 1-800-585-9396. I'm reminded, Debbie, by Heidi's comment. She says if she's asked how she's doing, another day, another blessing. You know what I say, right? You remember?
Well, don't you say you're blessed if somebody asks you?
Yeah, I say I'm doing very well, thanks be to God.
Thanks be to God. Yep.
And I really mean that, though. And it's not just to say. And a lot of people, when I say that to them, it really catches them off guard.
Yeah.
Because usually that's the kind of shallow interpersonal interaction that we have sometimes with people. You pass them, you bump into somebody in the grocery store you don't know. Hey, how's it going? Oh, pretty good. How are you? Good, fine.
Yeah.
It's end of conversation. But
right.
It's different when you ask somebody and you really are concerned. How are you today? How are you?
Right.
And so I just simply say, yeah, I'm doing pretty well, thanks be to God. So
that's beautiful.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, and I hope Heidi lets us borrow her saying, another day, another blessing. I love that. Thanks, Heidi, so very, very much. Okay, Michelle, you're up next in Anchorage, Alaska, listening on Anchorage Catholic Radio. Hi, Michelle. Welcome to Take Two.
Hi, Debbie and Jerry. I'm so glad to be able to talk with you. I listen to you every day. We haven't had EWTN Catholic Radio. We've had Protestant Christian radio for years and years and years. I have so enjoyed it. I wanted to share just a little bit. I have been married 35 years to a wonderful guy. We've had some ups and downs and problems. We've raised 6 children to full adulthood. We have 1 granddaughter, and our life is beautiful. We've had a lot of problems. We've lost a child to drugs and alcohol. And as we've walked through our lives together, there's one thing that I have learned, and this is the words of wisdom or whatever age. I'm 63 years old, and I have found that my life has been a school in learning to trust God. It's been a day-to-day lesson. Much of my adult life has been spent in a deep clinical depression, and over the past, I would say, 7 or 8 years, that has gone completely away because I've come into a place in my life where I can look back over it and see God's fingerprints all over everything. even the sorrow and the pain. And I see that I can trust him for the future. Whatever the circumstances of this life are now, I can look past the circumstances or through them and see the will of God there. I may not actually understand what it is, but I can trust that. And that trust is the most valuable thing we have in our spiritual walk, that we can trust him no matter what. And that's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, and that is, and first of all, we are very, very sorry about the loss of your child that you mentioned there. And it's just a reality of life, unfortunately. And Debbie, you know this, and all of those who are listening right now, Michelle, you obviously have discovered this. But when we love, we're going to be hurt, and that may not be someone actively hurting us. But for example, the loss of your child. Only true and deep love can experience the pain of a loss or a rejection, if that's the case, or what have you. So, Debbie, it's kind of interesting. From the moment we're born, the older we get, the odds, I think, go higher that we're going to have difficult life experiences and then need to learn the lessons that Michelle is talking about. That trust in God that things are going to be okay.
Yeah, and Michelle, your life story, you've learned a lot and grown a lot and experienced a lot, and you're sharing your story in such a deep way of what you've been through can help all of us to really prepare ourselves if and when we encounter great suffering as you have been through. And we have to learn that life is a journey, and life is an opportunity for us to grow closer to God and to advance and to evolve as human beings, so that we can be eventually united to God. Michelle, first of all, you started off so beautifully saying in Alaska that you're happy to listen to the show. We're happy that you felt prompted by the Spirit to call in. That's first and foremost. So thank you for that. And we love to be a companion to you in Alaska. By the way, I love Alaska. I went there last year, and I tell you, I could definitely live there. Absolutely. It's gorgeous. But the other thing I just wanted to say, Michelle, if you feel comfortable, if you don't, we totally understand. But we have a beautiful and vibrant prayer book. We would love to add your child's first name to the prayer book if you would allow us.
Thank you. His name is Michael.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. One more time, Michael?
His name is Michael.
Michael. Okay. Absolutely. And so please know that and feel the prayers for Michael and for your entire family, because that's the one great thing that we have going at Take Two. We have prayer warriors. I brought that up at the EWTN radio conference. Jerry and I were asked to come up on stage and do a little skit, if you will. And they asked, what is Take Two family all about? We believe in the power of prayer. So feel those prayers and know that we're part of this family. And Michelle, thank you for sharing your story. It's your story. It's your journey, but we've got to experience and learn from it. So thanks, Michelle. We appreciate it.
Thank you indeed, and we are grateful that you listen to EWTN Radio on Anchorage Catholic Radio and to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Tell you what, folks, if you're looking for more outside of your favorite radio programs and you want something that has lots of great information, inspiration, and articles on the faith, even a little lighthearted, check out Church Pop, P-O-P, churchpop.com. In fact, you will find that little two-stick popsicle stick with the halo at the top of the page. You know you're at the right page. Here are some articles that are posted on there right now. What Pope Francis thinks of a Donald Trump presidency. Mm-hmm. We also have USCCB posts recommended pray after election. So keep praying. Here's one, LOL, the 7 types of Catholics you meet in college. So 1 in 4 UK parents don't teach kids religion, fearing it'll make them outcasts. So it's kind of an alternative Catholic information site that's very, very dependable because why? It's owned by EWTN. So want to make sure you can sign up for the daily emails. Debbie, I know that you get them just like I do.
I do. I get them very, very early in the morning. I love checking out Church Pop because it comes right into my inbox. I read them, and like you said, Jerry, the articles are so engaging. I learned something new, and I'm really happy that EWTN has acquired Church Pop because it's really a wonderful addition to my kind of spiritual regimen, if you will. So yeah, thanks for reminding us, Jerry, and for everybody else to be open to that, to get some more resources that we can use to grow. Okay, so Jerry called out for, and we both did, for a gentleman to call in because he was feeling lonely, that there was all women, and so we asked for a guy.
I love all of our lady callers, Debbie.
Oh, I know. I'm teasing. I always like to make you feel
Just
a little
wanted
uncomfortable.
a guy's perspective on this. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so we're going to ask Maria and Kathy and Tim and Marie to hold on because Frank was first up and answered the call, listening to EWTN Radio in California, listening on Sirius XM 130. Thanks, Frank, for not leaving Jerry out there surrounded by all these women. Okay.
Hey, Frank.
Absolutely. I had to come to Jerry's rescue.
Thanks.
Yeah, this is Frank. I've talked to you guys a number of times, truck driver and part-time farmer. My experience in my years of 61, nobody creates himself. You're not self-made. God gives everything as a gift, and that we have to live in humility. It's something you don't hear enough of. And after my so-called conversion, road to Damascus conversion transformation, kind of goes to that reading we've just had about the gift of the talents. We all blessed with gifts, and some more than others. Especially if we've got a lot of gifts, if we can't share those and give them away, they're wasted. That's what I, by God's grace, have tried to do and continue to try to do, to share the faith that I've been given, particularly biblical teachings and so forth. Teach a Bible study at church, and so many are in need, and it'd be totally wrong out of God's will if I did not. In fact, I believe fully that He brought me through the things in life to do this very thing. It's been my calling, and that and work for culture of life.
Well, all of that is great, Frank, and thanks for sharing that, really. I'd just be curious to know, have you seen these, you talk about the gifts that you've been given, it'd be wrong for you to not use them, how those have maybe unfolded, or you've sort of seen them develop in your life as you've gotten to the age you are now?
Absolutely. Looking back, you can see how God, through the works of Jesus Christ, put me on a road, and that road's been, brought in a way that I can see it unfolding, as you say. That everything was by His design, and that I guess in that regard, it humbles me even more to know that He's used me. That's kind of a dangerous thing to say. Use me, because God certainly will. He'll equip you. So be prepared. It's not a, life is not a spectator sport. You got to get involved.
Right.
And, neither
Amen.
is faith. You have to share it. You have to be the teacher to those that, haven't had the opportunity.
Right. Well, Frank, your openness, God's going to do wondrous things in your life. And the more important thing is in our openness, the more He can use us, the more we grow closer to Him in ways that we could never describe by words. And so those are eternal. We're planting those eternal seeds. And so, Frank, I think your call made a difference today. It really did. And I appreciate you calling in, not only because you were a gentleman and you answered the call, but because you had something to share with all of us and we could learn and grow. So thank you, Frank. God bless you. And keep farming. We love that. I love farmers.
That's right. Have a blessed day, Frank. We appreciate that. All right, some of you have been holding a while. We want to make sure that we get as many on today's show as possible. So we go to Des Moines, Iowa next. Maria, listening to EWTN Radio on Iowa Catholic Radio. Hello, Maria. Welcome to Take Two. Hi, Maria. Well,
hello. I'm going to turn the radio off. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
Isn't she cute?
Well, we'll get back to Maria then in a second. Why don't we?
Okay. 'Cause- 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 'cause-
Thank you for taking my call. Hello? 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 Hello?
Check out EWTN's official YouTube channel.
Just follow the link on our homepage at EWTN.com or go to YouTube.com/EWTN.
Watch EWTN's live shows or today's homily from the Daily Mass.
Click the upload button to see our most recent clips.
You can also find all of EWTN YouTube content by clicking the playlist button.
It's all on the official EWTN YouTube channel at YouTube.com/EWTN.
Visit today.
Brother Francis, the barefoot saint of Assisi.
The beggar from Assisi is staying with you?
Yes, Holy Father. Bishop Guido recommended him, and I wanted to know him better.
And? What are his views?
He's no heretic.
That's reassuring. What else?
He is worthy of your attention.
Francis of Assisi, I approve your order.
Brother Francis, the barefoot saint of Assisi, this Sunday night, 9 Eastern on EWTN Radio.
Well, I'm gathering we are back on this. That's good. We had a little bit of a hiccup there, but I'm glad that so many of you stayed with us. But that's what technology does. So here we go. I know we have Maria. Maria, are you on from Des Moines, Iowa?
I am.
Okay, sorry, Maria. I think what happened is when you stepped away from the phone, there was a couple little clicks on the soundboard, and we got a little bit disconnected. So
that's all right. I'm just thankful that you let my calls through.
Okay, so tell us real quickly, because we're ready to close the show, but we wanted to see what you had to say.
I just want to share that when I was young, I spent too much time doing the things that will keep me young, beautiful, and fit in the outside, and didn't do much for the inside of me. Also, I relied on my own strength for everything. When I look back now that I have turned to God and realized how much easier life would have been, I went from being a cultural Catholic, to be a true Catholic with the help from EWTN and the Catholic radio. And everything have fallen into place for my husband and I. I truly wasted too much time in things that are not important. My husband says that the new idols of our time are beauty and youth for both men and women, and that we share our blood in the altar of youth and beauty when we have all kinds of plastic surgeries just to keep young and to stay beautiful. And so I don't worry about those things anymore. I wish I had learned that when I was young. I'm 62 now. And it took a lot of time away from my family, my 4 children. If I had to do it back, I wouldn't have been worried. And now I'm so proud of being old. I don't mind being called old. I'm proud and I'm joyful to be an old woman, and I am waiting, God willing, for my beautiful and young body forever when I get my glorious body one day.
Amen. Maria, thank you. It was such a treat for you to close the show because you did a great job, and it reminds all of us to stay close to God, and with God all things are possible, and so it's important. Kathy and Tim and Marie, We wanted to hear from you, but time was just ticking away, so we had to hurry up. Please email us or go on to EWTN Catholic Radio Facebook page. We want to hear from you. Keep the conversation going. Until tomorrow, Jerry and I want to wish you a beautiful and blessed day. Enjoy the day. It's a beautiful day. See you soon.